Welcome back to some more Druid Karn action. I won the die roll. With a hand I have to mulligan. Unless Oath of Nissa hits a Devoted Druid here, this hand doesn't do much. Okay, this hand's representing potential for a turn 2 Teferi. This is much better. I'll keep this. Actually, bottom the forest here. Because I have 3 mana represented right here. Yeah, Breeding Pool, Shock. Sprawl for white. The next turn I can fetch a basic forest if I want, and then I'll have all of my colors. Looks like I'm up against a shadow deck. Sure. Teferi's probably gone here. Well, Heliod's really good against Death Shadow. Either way, I'm casting one of these next turn unless I draw something better. Teferi in play is really good against Gurmag. It's also really good against Shadow, but Heliod in play shuts down Shadow. So if they take the Teferi, it tells me they might have a Gurmag here. Yeah, Temple Garden off this Windswept Heath. Yeah. Didn't expect Druid to live there, but... would have been nice. Next turn I'll cast Arbor Elf and hold up 2 mana for Heliod. Goodbye, Karn. Ah, oh well. Oh, that means I have Stubborn Denial. Okay. So I have to Stubborn Denial this. And if I untap, draw a land, I get Teferi. And if I don't have stubs, then I feel like I just kind of run away with the game a little bit here. I mean, you clearly have stubs. It's amazing how much that single Heliod just turned around that matchup, right? This matchup right here, though. Like, just having this Heliod in play, killing that Death Shadow is huge. Okay. Not going to kill Goyf the same way. I think I need to pick up a... Ooh, actually I misplayed. I should have done this end step, picked up Spike Feeder, and then tried to win next turn. Or I can pick up Arbor Elf. I think either way I still have to pick up the Spike Feeder. So I should have done this at my opponent's end step. The line I was thinking of, actually, Spike Feeder is a new add to the deck. I was thinking just grab an Arbor Elf, play that, and represent enough mana for Karn next turn. My opponent just needs to either get a Thoughtseize to kill me or grow that Tarmogoyf by 1 here. Before they get a chance to have another draw on a Fatal Push here. And this game should be over. Opponent messaged me best player. Well, I try. I don't think it's exactly what they meant, but so Veil of Summer's decent here. Auriok Champion is nothing against Goyf, but it's really good against Shadow. So they're running Goyf instead of Gurmag Angler. Wormcoil Engine's a really, really good threat here. I think Finales get a bit weaker than E-Call. I think if there's anything I don't really like here. I think just one Vizier is fine. I think the second's kind of redundant in a matchup where I'm probably not going to combo with Druid anyway. I think I like this here. Turn 2 Teferi, keep. See, this deck doesn't have to just be turn 2 Druid, and that's something I really love about it. Like, this hand can be torn apart by like a once upon a like a Thoughtseize, sure, but opponent didn't even play the fetch land they showed me. That's loose. But just a turn 2 Teferi, turn 3 Karn is like a perfectly viable hand in the modern meta. Get a lot of value out of that. Let's name white. So instead of turn 2 Teferi, I get to go turn 2 Heliod. We saw how good Heliod is in against Death Shadow here. I could have played Ballista to try to kill the Death Shadow, but then I get got by, honestly, Dismember would be save the Shadow, Street Wraith, just too many ways to lose with that particular line. Meanwhile, this way, I get to untap with the Heliod, or I get to cast a Karn. And either way, it's much, much better than playing games with, does my opponent have Street Wraith? Gotta always kind of assume they have, unless it's a desperation line. Okay, what's Plague Engineer naming? Human, sure. So my one Vizier is I guess my one Ranger captain, a little bit weaker now. Opponent did tap out, so I kind of just want to land a Karn here. So now I think I can safely, if I choose to, Ballista my opponent's Death Shadow. If they had a Street Wraith, I think they would have cycled it right then to deal a little bit more damage to me. I can Karn, grab, bridge. Make them kill my Karn. So the fact that my opponent tapped out here, I think I want to jam Karn. One, two, three, four, five. So I could potentially dump my hand next turn. Might just be a tiny Ballista, but I could do it. I assume they're going to kill Karn. Yep. Here's my Stubbs bait. The fact that my opponent tapped out again when they knew I had Karn in hand made me feel like they didn't have the Stubbs. Okay. Well, there goes the line of ballisting them with a third ballista to death. Opponent's got 2 cards in hand. If I'd shocked, I could have held up Heliod if I anticipated a Assassin's Trophy. But it's hard to like predict, do they have Assassin's Trophy or do they have Abrupt Decay? And I think the 2 life was worth that line there. So I'll go to 10. And that's game. Okay. Let's go to the next game. I wonder if Auriok Champion's is just better. Still gets hit by Plague Engineer, so probably not. Let's keep this. I don't have a turn 1 play except for this Veil of Summer. But I think Veil of Summer and Teferi are very strong in this particular matchup. Didn't exactly want to draw another land there, but Domri's Call, but Druid's not actually as important as like a Elf is here, so I'm just gonna play this out here and get a breeding pool. If I had to bet, I'm losing the Teferi here. Teferi is just so good in so many different matchups. Turning off Stubborn Denial is an absolute killer for my opponent. This is the first Druid Karn list that I've played where I haven't had Path Exiles in the sideboard. And it's interesting. Like, it completely changes the dynamic of this matchup here. Okay, let's get a Breeding Pool. Play a Teferi. And next turn I get to land a Karn and kind of dig out from that, or Finale for like a Druid. What do I want to grab here? Opponent's on 2 lands. I might just want to grab a Liquid Metal Coating. I can also grab a Worm Coil. Either one is very good. Liquid Metal, if they have another trophy, isn't as good, but they are stuck on 2 lands. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the Liquid Metal Coating. If Karn lives, I'm going to pick up the Worm Coil. Or I can just start plussing attacking their mana. Otherwise, if they like Thoughtseize me, they can take the Liquid Metal Coating, and then I get to minus and pick up the Worm Coil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which I'm actually just going to grab right now. Okay. Now I get to start blowing up their mana, and I have a 6/6 in play. I've kind of put in a spot where I'm kind of forcing my opponent to have more removal than they probably have. They keep tapping out, so they're representing that they do not have Stubborn Denial. They have 5 cards in their hand. I think I'm just in a really good spot here. If they'll attack, I'll block. If they attack me, I'm probably just let that through. Actually, I don't even see a reason why I would let that through, because I'm probably not attacking with Worm Coil Engine unless they don't have a second threat. Because protecting Karn is my win condition right now. The way I win right now is turtle up behind Worm Coil and sit behind this Liquid Metal Coating. I mean, Worm Coil's still got Death Touch, so I'll still do that. Oh, that's not what I meant to cast. That was a little punt. I don't think it's going to matter here, although I should have 1 more mana, so I should be able to cast this Teferi. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Should still have Veil of Summer in play, or a Teferi in play. So Veil of Summer in hand or Teferi. I should just have a Teferi in play with a Veil of Summer in hand, but quickly clicking through, both look the same. Opponent is very salty in the chat. So there's a 30 play point bonus for some more Druid Karn action. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think of the deck, and if you think I should keep playing it. See you in the next one.